All right, what's up, people? We got another bike. A lot of new ones on the channel lately. This one's a special one. 2016 27.5 Bronson. I feel like this was such an iconic bike at that time. I owned one. This was the first new bike I ever bought. I haven't ridden anything from this era, since this era. So I'm excited to get on it. I rode the 2025 Bronson yesterday. Gonna get out on a few laps here today just to get a feel for this thing, and then I'll be doing a more of a dedicated comparison video where I ride both these bikes on the same trails on the same day. But for now, I want to get a feel for this thing, so let's get up to the top of the trail and see what it do. All right, at the top, I'll get into it more at the bottom, but even climbing up that hill and being on the fire road, some nostalgic vibes with this bike. But let's get into it. Brakes might not be all the way there. It's fast, holy shit. Oh. Oh. Ah. Oh. Whew. Oh man, a lot to take in. I've ridden some older bikes on the channel, but they've all kind of been a few years before my time. Like the Nomad, the Sunday. I didn't ride those bikes in those eras, but 2016 is when I was full on into mountain bikes. I owned this bike in the past. I've ridden a bunch of bikes in this 27.5 enduro bike, all mountain bike era. Those sensations when I'm on this bike are very familiar, but I haven't felt them in like almost 10 years. Like the feel of the XO11 speed drivetrain, these guide RSC brakes that, if you've been riding for a little bit, you're all too familiar with. So and then the whole ride feel of the bike, I would say it's an interesting mix. It's like responsive is the biggest word that comes to mind, but like it's capable enough where it's not as sketchy as like those old bikes I was riding, but it's like this mix of starting to become, fairly capable, but the head angles are steeper, the reaches are shorter, and overall it's like a much sharper experience. Even the way it's bouncing in between corners and how it's turning in is just, yeah, it's funny. It's different, but it's like very, very familiar because I've spent a lot of time on these bikes. Lap 2, I stiffened the shock a little bit. Don't know if that was completely the right move, but wanted to try something. Whew. Oh my God. Dude, insane. I have a really good feel. Shredding, dude. Oh my God. Full two-wheel drift. Hyphy lap. Oh. Damn, boy. That was a belter. That was me. I'm having this debate, like, does it just feel fast because it's sketchy, or am I actually going fast? Because it felt like that top part of the trail, that was like maybe kind of the fastest I've gone through there. At least that's how it felt. But again, hard to know without the clock. That's what the next test will be for, comparing against the modern bike. But I feel like I have a really good feel for where traction's at. The front feels pretty good, and this goes back into the whole chainstay discussion. It's like, don't know what the chainstay is exactly on this bike, but it's on the shorter side. But head angles are steeper, reaches are way shorter, so the front to rear center ratio is much tighter. And it's like, it's a game of compromises. It's like short chainstay, short reach, short front center, decent grip between the wheels, but you lose a lot of that stability and comfort. It's why I might feel like I'm going faster than I actually am, but you gain that responsiveness that I'm talking about. So, I mean, regardless, the bike is not taking care of me in some ways, but like, if you like riding shorter chainstay bikes, I mean, the shorter reach thing kind of gets you a bit more grip on the front wheel. You just end up sacrificing your wheelbase. And besides that, the shock felt a lot better with a bit more air. I went to 260 PSI, and the fork felt way better too. Rebound was really slow, so I went like 4 clicks faster. Again, this Charger damper pike is another nostalgic piece. I mean, these were a game changer at the time, and they've got a really unique feel. The fork actually feels pretty good, but I think what I always fought on these is them being a little divey. You can get them to be super buttery and feel excellent, have great traction, but it's just they tend to eat up this first part of the travel. So I could keep rambling. I'm gonna save some stuff for the final thoughts after this last lap, but let's get up there and get after it. All right, lap 3. Let's have a smooth one. Got a little too excited last lap. Plus it's getting a little dark. Dude, these guide brakes are like not nearly as strong as what I'm used to. Scandy flicks are nice on this thing. Oh, it's a coyote. What's up, homie? Didn't mean to scare you, bud. It's actually pretty sick. I've never seen one out here on the trails like that. Let's take a sec to appreciate the dirt. It's KOM condition out here. This corner is always so hard. It's like, it kind of feels bad. I mean, maybe I should try the main line again, but it kind of feels bad to go in here straight, go out there and turn down when the hill's falling away. So I kind of try and set up over this lump and kind of square it up or drift inside to get my angle. But if you don't drift and get your angle and cut it into the corner, you just run right off into the sticks. But this trail's fun because there's actually, like, it's fairly straightforward, but there's actually line choice. And like in here, these braking bumps are like kind of no joke. I mean, I'm going around them, but come check out Brione's. Legal trails in California that rip. Let's see if we see our guy again. Yeah, like right there has a really good front end feel. That too, it just sticks. All right, that's a wrap. Feel pretty in touch with it, honestly. Okay, cool. The thing does go like all the way to the bottom. I forgot where these shocks actually bottom out, but seems like all the way. Thing's a ripper. I mean, I'm really excited for the full test because, like I said, it feels fast, but maybe it's just sketchier. So we'll see how that feel translates to the clock, but it feels good. Yeah, it's that combination of having a short chainstay with a lot of front end grip, since it's pretty short, that I haven't felt in a while, and it's kind of nice. I mean, I did a few flicks in there that like felt like the bike could get away from me, but I think that's the price you pay for having something that is just a little bit more responsive. Suspension wise, feels good. Feels way better than I remember for this era. I mean, my Bronson had X Fusion, so maybe that had something to do with it, but I don't know, traction isn't a huge issue on that corner, on this track. Like, the dirt's epic right now, so if anything, maybe it's just like a little skittish. I think the main thing I try and do on these first impressions is, you know, 3 laps on a trail I know, and get the shock and the bar height in a good place, and making the shock stiffer, put it in a really good spot. And I didn't really feel like I needed to change much on my bar setup. It came with 800 mil bars, which is funny because I think like this was the 800 mil bar craze phase, like around 2016. Like a bunch of my buddies ran 800s, and it's funny that this bike kind of came with 800s. To me, 800s are unrideable, especially on a trail bike. Like, it messes up my whole body position. So I threw some 760s on here with the 40 mil stem. I have a 45 mil stem that I might put on, just because that's kind of what I'm used to. But overall balance, suspension wise, I feel like it's in a good spot, and I feel like I got the 2025 Bronson in a pretty good spot on the ride in Santa Cruz. So I might take the 2025 out here just to get it tuned in on this trail, make sure I didn't miss anything. And then, yeah, I'm excited to put these two bikes head to head, the two pink Bronsons. Thanks Santa Cruz for helping set up this video. Excited to do more content with these bikes, so stay tuned for that. Hit me up on Patreon if you're liking the content, but otherwise, I'll catch you guys next time. Later. It's got EXO tires on it, Max Terra, so it's just rolling hella fast too. Let's see if we can keep this going. Oh no!